had signed her up for The Lovers, a sitcom which would make her a big TV star, playing one half of a courting couple opposite the late actor Richard Beckinsale. But while TV bosses waited for production on that to start, they decided to use Paula for a 3-week stint in the nation's favorite soap opera, playing runaway Janice Langton. Paula, now 72, recalls, "I was acting in a play with the National Youth Theatre when Granada discovered me. They cast me in The Lovers, and while Jack Rosenthal was writing it, they put me in a couple of sitcoms and Coronation Street. It was pretty much my first professional job. The day after my first episode, people were calling me Janice in the street. There was so little choice on television then, millions of people would have watched it. You became very aware people were staring at you. It was like magic, one day you were on television and the next you were walking down the street. You didn't see stars walking down the street, so it was a shock for people. We were a novelty. There's less mystery these days. No one in Paula's family had acted before, so she feels lucky she had the chance to follow her dreams. We were a lot less cosseted back then," she says. "We were sort of thrown out there and just did it. I moved to London when I was quite young, and just had a flat, a little bedsit. I was living a nice life. With my first job, I pretended it wasn't, that it'd been around for ages. Of course, everyone knew, but I tried to pretend I knew everything. It was scary, but you do things differently when you're young." She's been a household name since the success of The Lovers, followed by the hugely popular 1970s sitcom Man About the House, in which she starred with Richard O'Sullivan, about a man sharing a flat with two girls played by Paula and the Railway Children actress Sally Thompson. Since then, she's appeared in many of our best-loved series, from children's show The Queen's Nose to Footballers' Wives, Emmerdale, and The Smoking Room. Now she's back in Weatherfield, with a recurring role in Coronation Street as Elaine Jones, Tim Metcalfe's mother, played by Joe Duttine, and mother-in-law to his wife Sally, played by Sally Deniver. At first, Paula wasn't sure what to expect after an absence of more than 5 decades. Granada TV had been taken over by ITV, and the soap set had moved. But the Manchester-born actress soon felt right at home, she says. Back then, the set was on Key Street in Manchester, and it's all changed. Now it's at Media City in Manchester. But when I got there, I found it was just like being at Granada, because of the people, real Manchester people, so friendly and warm. I felt so relaxed immediately in their company. What she loves about the show, she says, is the variety. Corey is very good at finding the highs and lows in people's lives. You never know if you're going to be playing high drama or low comedy. Most of Paula's scenes have been filmed with restricted numbers of actors and controlled sets, due to COVID. It's been strange because we haven't been able to socialize with people we're not in scenes with, but I'm assured the socializing will continue when we're back to normal, she says. Now I'm starting to meet some of the other characters who I'm not involved with on the show. That's a joy, because as you can imagine I admire them so much on screen and it's really nice to meet them in person. In her long career, Paula has worked with some of the biggest names in British showbiz. She has particularly fond memories of Richard Beckinsale, who died after suffering a heart attack in 1979 when he was just 31. She says, "I was so young, so overwhelmed by everything. It was hard for me to judge what he was like, I was in awe. It was so just weird, as I'd done so little before and everyone else had been to drama school. But he was wonderful, and very funny. He was very low-key, but had a very big impact. We had a lot of fun. It was an enormous shock when he died. People didn't, at our age. I've always kept an eye on his daughter Kate Beckinsale's career, and her sister Samantha, who's also an actress. I do feel almost motherly towards them." Paula is proud her 70s hits, The Lovers and Man About the House, were considered groundbreaking for their time. She says, "It's funny now, but the idea of a man sharing a flat with two women was like, whoa, that's a bit much, isn't it? But it was so lovely and so innocent, wasn't it, with George, Brian Murphy, and Mildred, the late Eutha Joyce, keeping an eye on them downstairs? I still see Richard, Sally and Brian from time to time. We chat about old times and what it was like working together. We had no idea how lucky we were. It was fantastic. And it's been such a nice springboard for me. I've been working ever since." Apart from her TV parts, Paula has had a number of roles on stage, including playing Miss Havisham in a West End production of Great Expectations from 2013. Now the play is going to be available to a wider audience, thanks to a new service called Stage Player Plus, a digital streaming service for the performing arts. It's a great production, written to coincide with the 200th anniversary of the birth of Charles Dickens, and I'm quite proud of it, she says. It's nice to be in the theatre, but you don't reach anything like as many people as you do on TV. So it's really good to have a chance to catch up on something that you missed, or never got a chance of seeing. It was great to play Miss Havisham. I mean, she's a monster, but her story has roots in a real betrayal. What I love about being on stage is your brain has to be working quickly all the time. It's using muscles you don't get a chance to work when you're in television or film, where you don't have to duck and dive the way you do on stage, if things go wrong, or if you get an odd reaction from the audience. It's a bit more dangerous, a bit more exciting. One of the great things about having such a long and varied career is that Paula's work keeps reaching new audiences. While baby boomers know her as Beryl, the girlfriend determined to get Beckinsale's Geoffrey up the aisle before surrendering her virtue, or Richard O'Sullivan's feisty flatmate Chrissy, for a whole generation of 90s kids she'll always be Audrey, the snooty mum in CBBC's The Queen's Nose, which ran from 1995 to 2003. People still remember it from their childhood, Paula says. Even people in their 20s and 30s get quite bashful when they talk to me about it. They go back to being about 8 or 9. Other highlights for her include the 2014 series Boomers, about the travails of 3 retired couples living in Norfolk. Her co-stars included Alison Steadman and Stephanie Beacham, and she says filming with them was like being on holiday. It was nice doing something for that age group that was not about us all being miserable. Stories for older people can be a bit downbeat. But this was positive and full of energy and very funny too. We all still meet from time to time. In fact, the only TV genre never to have tempted Paula is reality TV. The actress, who lost first husband Derek Seaton in 1979, when he was only 35, and who married U.S. businessman Nelson Skip Riddle Jr. in 1991, keeps her personal life private. "I've never been invited into the jungle, or a Welsh castle," she laughs. "I don't think him reality TV material. Great Expectations is streaming now on Stage Player Plus,